everybody, this is Abby with Scrap and Abby, and this is going to be the first in a series that I'm going to be making for you guys. I was invited to sell some of my crafty goodies at a show called Two Sisters Treasures, and it's I have four sister-in-laws. My husband has five brothers, so I've got a really big in-law family. My youngest sister-in-law, her mom and her sister, so my sister-in-law's mom and aunt, they run and own this, it's kind of a furniture shop slash vintage shop slash kind of really cool clothes. And then they've added on a gentleman who does like a lot of really cool woodworking stuff. He makes like those barn doors that slide across your closet like you see on Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna Gaines. Anyway, just really, really cool stuff. And so she's been asking me for a couple years if I wanted to do some of my banners, some of my cards, and different things like that. And as for most of my followers, unless you guys are new, I'll just say this really, really quickly. I had brain surgery in March of 2015. I have a nerve disease called trigeminal neuralgia, and after surgery, I still have that. There's no cure for that. I also developed a second facial pain, anesthesia dolorosa. So I'm not quite a year out from surgery, and in the last couple of months, I've been slowly getting back into the crafting. So I wasn't able to participate the last couple of years, and she asked me if I felt up to it this year. I said, absolutely. This is a good focus thing for me. Crafting is my therapy for sure. So that is why I'm so excited to be a part of this. And so I'm going to be making a bunch of different things for the show. So I'm going to be doing a video series, and I'm not sure I'm going to caption it yet, but this is going to be the first video. So what I have here are some of these really cute tea holder pocket favors, or you can call them gift card holders, or anything like that. You can really put anything in here that you want to. I did save one so I could make one on camera for you guys once I show you these, so you kind of see how quickly these go together, and they're really super simple. I'm on the design team for Scor-pal. I have been for 2-3 years now, and so I do a lot of projects where we obviously use our scoreboard. And so this is one that I did a while back, probably over 2 years ago, and I put different things in. I put some little chocolates in it, but this time I'm doing tea just because it might be hot. I don't know if everybody likes chocolate, so and it's kind of pricey to buy a bunch of those Ghirardelli little squares too. So these are what I made, and I'm done with this set, and now I'm going to move on to banners and some other really fun things. So I'll just show you one from each color. And what I used for papers, let me show you really quickly, guys. So bear with me if you guys are new. If it sounds like I'm stuttering or I can't articulate properly, it's due to the left half side of my face being numb from my brain surgery and part of my nerve disease. So I'm pretty self-conscious about it, but I try to not let it be a focus for me. But it's hard for me to talk sometimes, so I apologize if that's irritating to you guys. So these are the different papers I used. I won't show you each one because it'll take too long, but most of these, except for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, all but 4 sets are everything from Marion Smith, from her different paper collections. And I always keep the end strips because I like to document that when I'm making projects. And then I have a few that are from the Tim Holtz Distress set, and then another 2 sets that are from some random paper stack I've had. I don't know where it came from. I just like the colors. So the first one right here, and they're all the same as far as the basic design. I just kind of switched up the trims or how I did the little teapot piece or whatever, and then some of the other pearls here. So this is the first one, and what I did, because this paper isn't as thick as the other papers, I kind of wanted to make it look a little bit better, just so it kind of, worth the price. And I just put some glossy accents on the teapot, and I thought that was really cute. And then here is the paper, and I'll explain to you when I'm doing the tutorial how I came up with the pattern scheme. And then this is just the trim, and I just used some ribbon on there. I had different bits of ribbon and laces and some really cool sheer ribbon. So I just tied it like that, and when you open it up, and this is a little tea packet, and I just used what I had in my my pantry. I almost said my closet. My pantry. I am a huge coffee and tea person. And so I have all kinds of teas. I have a ton. So I just pulled, I didn't put my favorites in. because I'm kind of hoarding those because I buy those from someone that's not close to where I live. But anyway, I just put in, you could put tea in here, you could put those Ghirardelli chocolate squares, which is what I did before. You could put a gift card. I mean, just anything you could think of. Even it could be even like a craft item. It doesn't even have to be tea or chocolate. You could put like, you know, a handmade package of like some paper clips or, you know, the clothespins, anything you could think of that'd be really, really cool to stick in there. And that's just a little pocket there. And then I just put some trim on the inside just to kind of finish it off. And then each of them have a stamp that says enjoy. So the basic pattern is the same and the stamping is the same as well as the tea. It's just the colors and the different trims. And then you just close it up like this. I'm still debating on how I want to package these because I think, yes, I could just leave them loose like this, but I think stuff in a package is really super cute and it's going to kind of protect it from a lot of hands, you know, touching it, because you know, it's paper and so I don't want it to get pieces to get bent and stuff and then nobody wants to buy it because it looks damaged. So I got a couple different ideas I'm tossing around. If they work out, I'll share that with you guys when I get to the very final video, which is the packaging. So this here is a blue, obviously, and this is this is one of the Tim Holtz ones, and I used the distressed ink on all of these, the walnut stain, most of all of them. I think I used frayed burlap on a couple of them, and I'm not going to open it all. I want to kind of because I want you guys to see how cute the insides are. So, and I have to turn my little fan on, you guys. It's kind of loud, but I'll turn it down a little bit low. There we go. My room gets really hot when I have all my computer and stuff going. So that's the inside of this one. And it has the stamp, and I just put some white rickrack in there. I'll tie them afterwards. I won't take too much time on here, guys. And if this part isn't very interesting, you can go ahead and you know, skip to the end if you want. This one's really cute, and these are actually some cards from the game Uncle Wiggily. I had this when I was a kid, and my kids are done playing with it. You know, they're 20 and 16, so they, you know, on other games. And so I put those on there. I thought it was kind of cute, kind of vintagey. So I used Marion Smith's Mad Hatter, or excuse me, Tea Party. Mad Tea Party, that's what it's called, her paper collection. I thought that was kind of cool, thematic. And then again, just the stamped image on the paper, and then I put the little bits of bling on this side over here. This just a little crochet thing, I use it for all kinds of purposes, so I'm just using it to open up the trim so I don't fray them. So, and if I had been thinking, you guys, I would have had one from each set open, but I wasn't, so I'm sorry about that. But I just want to show you what the different trims look like. So here's the inside of this one. Really, really cute, and I love it when the paper, I chose all double-sided, but I really like it when they have some really fun patterns like that. So there's that one. And this one is another one. I think this is the Rendezvous. This has some iridescent sheer ribbon, some more of the flat back pearls, same thing, tea, oops, on the other side. And if they don't really have anything inside, I may not open all of them because it might take too long. You guys can kind of peek in there. That's what I'll do. I'll just open it up like that. Sorry guys, I should have thought of that before. Anyway, so this looks like that inside. That's the trim, because the inside is exactly the same. And how many of those did I make? Oh, I made 6 of those. So this is another pattern. I think this is Rendezvous from Marion Smith. So I used some yellow ribbon I had, and most of the ribbons are from the Really Reasonable Ribbon of the Month kits. I used to get those for a couple of years. And so I stopped because I have way too many, obviously. And oh, I didn't put any ribbon on this one because I thought it was cute with just the flowers. So not all of them have a trim on the inside because I kind of want to mix that up a little bit. Here's another one, some green sheer ribbon, flat back pearls, again the tea, that's all the same. And this one doesn't have any inside either. Let's see. Yep, this one is, these are probably my favorites. I just love these papers. They are, look at these, they are so shabby. I just love those. Oh, love them, love them, love them. So these were really fun because each one did look a little bit different because of the pattern paper, but these are really cute, I thought. And I used some pink because there's pink within the cardstock. I don't think I put any ribbon on this one either, no, because the paper is just so, so pretty. And this one's really neat because it's got some script on the inside, so it makes it really unique. And then just kind of getting a darker color in the mix here. That's the back. And then I don't think I did this one either. No, this one's got tea, but the inside's kind of black. I think I might go back and put a little bit on the inside because it is pretty dark, and I don't want these to look like, you know, super dark. Here's a pretty blue. This is one of the Tim Holtz papers, and this one does have the inside. This is really cute. It's kind of a silvery. It matches what's on the outside. Some do and some don't, just depending on what I felt like putting on. This is a really cute pink one, another one from Tim Holtz's. I can't remember. I think it's a distressed pad, or I can't remember what it's called. And then just some more of that really nice. This is a thicker kind of ribbon. Thought that would be kind of fun. And this a little bit larger of a die for my spellbinders. And that's the inside trim. Really cute one. I had just enough left to do those 3. And this is more Marion Smith paper. I did break away from the flat back pearls and used a couple of these little Prima flowers that stuck on there because I thought they worked perfectly because it's such a really fun bright flower one. Used some of the orange trim, and I was glad to use some of the orange and yellows up. Those aren't colors I typically craft with and I would never use in my own stuff, but I thought it was cute. And that's the inside. No ribbon on that one either. And this is a blue. This is another one of Marion's. And I put a flower on here, little blingy centerpiece, and I don't think, yeah, this one doesn't have it either, but that's the inside. And then almost done. This is one of the random paper companies, like the first one down here I showed you guys with the glossy teapot. I don't remember where I bought this, but this is 3 of those little flat back pearls here, and then I just did a little bit different shape with my corner rounder. Really pretty gold, or brown, excuse me, brown ribbon with a really pretty gold edging. I think that's really, really pretty. And the inside, I just used a little bit left I had from a different one. So those are the 3. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys on camera as far as a tutorial, you can make a total of 3 of these holders from one 12 by 12 piece of paper. If you adjust the size of the paper, you can make them even smaller. When I did them about, gosh, I have to look up when I did that tutorial on the Scor-pal blog, but I think I made these a little bit smaller because I had the Ghirardelli chocolates and they're not quite this as big as a tea, but I wanted to try a little bit bigger size. So these are the ones I've already made, and so I got one more to make, and I'll do it on camera to show you guys. Let me get these out of the way. And my desk is a mess because I've been super busy working on all kinds of projects, so just bear with me there on that. I'm going to zoom you guys in. Let me put a couple things on top of the table though, so it doesn't make your eyes crazy with that grid. I always work on my Scor-pal map, so not because I'm on their design team, I just always do. I used to work off a glass mat, and then I switched to this one, the self-healing mat, when I got on the design team. So what I'm going to do when I edit the video, I will put the measurements across the screen somewhere in here, and then I will also put them in the description box. So what you could want to do is just pick any kind of pattern paper, 12 by 12. I would suggest always getting a double-sided paper. That way you can make sure that you don't have like just a plain white inside, unless you want that, which is totally fine. Or if you wanted to do some really cool background stamping on the inside, that would be cool too. So, and then you also want to be careful if it's directional. So what I did, because I wanted to make sure, like on this one here, that the words went, you know, horizontal instead of vertical, so I just made sure when I cut it down. So this is the last piece I have, and this, what you want to do is take one 12 by 12 piece of paper, and it's going to be 3 3/4 by 9 3/4. So this is the 3 3/4 by the 9 3/4 right here. So I'm going to go ahead and move these off to the side, and I've already cut this down because, like I said, it takes 3 strips. So what we're going to do now is score it. Let me just get my Scor-pal up here. This is my first tutorial, you guys, since I had my brain surgery. I feel pretty rusty, but you know, it feels good. So might be a little bit rusty, just bear with me because, like I said, it's my first one. So just go ahead and put your paper on top of your scoreboard. It doesn't really matter which way you face it because the way I fold it, you can't like see the big ridge or anything. So you're going to be scoring 3 1/4 on each side. So I'm just going to go over here to 3 1/4, make a score mark. And what I do is just flip it over, put it down, 3 1/4, make another score mark. So that is the first. Well, it's kind of hard to see with this pattern paper, but you can kind of see right there is the first one, and then here's the second one over there. So we can go ahead and take away the Scor-pal scoreboard there, and then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fold this over, and then with my bone folder kind of, you know, crease that down, really get that nice crisp edge, and then do it again on this side. And then now we're going to cut, we need to cut, so we have that slit right here that you guys saw. Where'd that one go that was open? Just a second, guys. So this one's already tight, so I'll show you this one. So to make that little slit right here where the tea packet can go in, you need to make that cut. And you can do a freehand cut, or you can use your trimmer. I prefer my trimmer because I always tend to be a little bit wonky on my cuts, and I don't like that. So, and especially for something I'm going to be selling. So what I'm going to do is just stick this on my trimmer, and then it's going to be this square here, because this is my front. You open it. Here's, you know, where this is going to be where this flap is glued down, so I'm going to be cutting this piece right there. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm just going to put it on the diagonal on my trimmer, just like that, and then I can just see because of my lines, put it up there, and then do that. And then you're going to want to save this piece because you're going to need it. And when I did the first initial cuts, you're also going to be left with a piece of paper, 3 of them actually, because you remember you can get 3 of these packets from one 12 by 12 piece. And I've already went ahead and did the die cut image because I could do them all at the same time. But you're always going to want to keep this piece as their spare, and then the piece that we just cut off here. And I'll show you why in just a moment. So we'll set that off to the side. I'll go ahead and kind of zoom in just a little bit for you guys. So this is completely optional, this next part. You guys do not have to ink these if you don't want to. I like to because I'm just not a real big fan of the naked edge, meaning where you can see the white, or I just like that look. That's just kind of me. So you guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can completely leave it just uninked. You can do some different sprays on it if you want to. If I was making these for like a rack or some friends or something like that, or a gift, I probably would do that. But since I'm making so many things for this show, I can't spend too much time on each one, or else I'm never going to get anything done. So that's why I chose not to do that. But I think the inking just gives it a really nice distressed kind of look, and that's kind of what I'm going for. And then I don't need to worry about inking this part. Oops, sorry, this part or this part, because it's going to get folded over and you won't see it. But it is important to make sure that if you do distress ink this, that you do this edge right here. And I'll show you why once we get into the last part of this. And you can kind of do this business. And there's actually 2 things. Let me back up. You can ink now and then re-ink once you're done corner rounding, or I tried it both ways, and I prefer to do it this way and then corner round, just because I don't like to have to try to curve my score tape or my adhesive on the corner. So you do not have to. You can leave these completely at the square if you want. You can see how cute it looks just square, but I just kind of like it with the corners rounded because I think it kind of gives it more of a finished, kind of professional looking edge. But it's up to you what you want to do. And I'm just using this one because that's the one I had close to my desk, just this old Making Memories corner punch that I have. Oh, you know what? I need to glue this first. See, you guys, I told you I'm rusty. Please don't criticize me if I'm like, you guys are like, what are you doing? You don't even know how to craft, Abby. I'm just really rusty. So all I'm doing is putting down some score tape. This is 1/8 inch score tape, and I loved score tape even before I was on the design team for Scor-pal. But Diane sends us a lot of products because we use a lot for the different projects we use, so I just love having it. And this is something you can tear. I just prefer to cut it. I kind of have OCD. That's just what I like to do. But this is the width I used, and as you can see, it's really tiny. You can use liquid glue, you can use a liquid adhesive, you can use any kind of tape runner. I just prefer to use score tape, and that's what I have right down there. And then we're going to fold this over. Sorry guys, fold this over right there and just kind of put it down, and then just kind of burnish that. And now we're going to corner punch. So you can do it either way. You can do it before you adhere it down, or you can do it after. It's really not a big deal. But if you do it after, just make sure that you go back through and ink those corners. And that's when I kind of ink the side that I just folded over. So that's kind of why I like to do it after, because I have to ink those creases anyway, because we're going to fold this and I'm going to ink it. Again, this is optional. You guys can do whatever you like. Let me close my ink up and I'll just show you really quickly. It's the Tim Holtz in Walnut Stain. That's one of my most used ones. So now, since I already know what the trim everything's going to look like because I already did 2 of them, I'm just going to make it look pretty much exactly like this one. So with that first piece, whenever you cut your 12 by 12 cardstock into 3 3/4 strips by 9 3/4, when you cut it off to get the 9 3/4, you're going to be left with this amount here. So I saved it because you can use it for your die punch, and that's what I used to raise up the teapot on some adhesive dots. So that's what I'm doing. You, of course, can do whatever you would like. You can use, and I already have that, so I'm just going to chat with you while I'm doing this. So you can go ahead and, use, oops, that's not true. I need to, let me backtrack. Sorry, guys. You can go ahead and put, like, a gift for you, or thinking of you, or whatever kind of sentiment you want to put on there. It just kind of depends on what you're making it for, what the purpose is. You could totally make these for, like, a kid's party. You can make it for like invitations, anything you want to do. So the stamp I'm going to be using, you won't be able to see it until I ink it because it's in a clear acrylic, but I'm using the Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black. You of course can use whatever color ink you want. I just kind of want to make this part uniform, so I just chose to use black for all of my inking. And then this is my stamp. It's this really cute teapot, and I don't remember where I purchased this from. It came in with a bunch of other stamps. So remember that triangle piece I told you that we cut off? You're going to want to keep that. So what I've been doing is, this is the inside, as you can see. So what I'm doing is I'm flipping over the piece, and that's what, so it's like this, right? Because you have the inside is the script. So we're flipping it, you cover it and you flip it this way. So I'm making this part the teapot, but then the part that's the embellishment that the teapot sits on is the opposite. That way we have a little bit of difference between the pattern on the top and the pattern in the middle. So that's kind of what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So this has already been done before I turned the camera on, because I was doing all three at once, and that's what I'm doing now, is I'm just stamping on here. And so if there's any kind of a script like this one is, but it's not really a legible one, what I try to do is I try to put the stamp on that, so whenever I fussy cut this out, then I'm going to have kind of that really cool background. Let me just wipe my stamp off really quickly, guys. And so what I'm going to do now is just fussy cut this out. It does not have to be perfect. If you guys don't like to fussy cut, you can, you know, use a die cut if you want. You can use whatever it is you want to use on this. And I'm just going to fussy cut this out real quick. I'm not going to be doing the inside of the handle. There's no reason to, because I'm not making it that delicate. I do have a lot of projects that where I will end up, you know, really using like my craft knife and getting really into detail of fussy cutting some things out, but I'm not going to for this project, because like I said, I have so many things I have to make, and I want to make sure I give myself enough time. So there's that. And if you have any rough edges, because I like them all to be rounded, just go ahead and just kind of clean those up really quickly. And there you go. And so what I'm using on the back of each one are just some adhesive dots, because I want these to have some dimension, so they're kind of popping off of the front of the card. And that's all I have here. Just putting that on. I'm using tweezers because with my acrylic nails, sometimes that stuff sticks to my nails. So so there's the front piece embellishments, and then they'll go on just like that. But the first step after you glue it and corner around and re-ink again is to put your ribbon on. And I already have the ribbon cut because I made the first two. And I'm just going to finish off what I have here, which is this really pretty sheer ribbon with these really nice soft white polka dots on it. And you can use whatever adhesive you want. You can use your ATG gun, which is typically what I use, but it ran out of tape and I have to go get some more, so I'm just using one of my smaller runners right now. Sometimes I'll use Scor-tape, which is what I usually use before my ATG, or those smaller like this, you know, this is just a little cheapo Tombow one, because I like how the Scor-tape fits, or excuse me, how well the Scor-tape will make your project stick. I like to do a lot of dimensional projects, and like projects have like a lot of construction to them. And all I'm doing now is centering the ribbon. Oops, popped out of my hand. So I'm just centering the ribbon because I don't measure. If you guys, except for when I cut paper, obviously, because you have to for that kind of thing. But I like to eyeball a lot of stuff. That's just kind of how I do it. And so I just put that on there so I can make sure I have equal amounts on each side of the ribbon here. There we go. And that's the kind of nice thing about using those Tombow guns. You can kind of reposition. You have a little bit of time to do that. So now we have that done. And so next thing I'm going to do is put on this inner piece here. And I just had just enough of the white rickrack left over from another project to put it on the inside of these. So clearly I'm not going to use my smaller Scor-tape. I mean, I could, but I think it would take a lot of time that I really don't have, and I just don't really want to spend that much time doing it, because this would fit on here, of course, as you can see, but I'd have to make, you know, follow the rickrack pattern. That's just too time consuming. I don't want to use my ATG or the Tombow because it's going to be too wide. So what I'm doing is I'm choosing to use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, and all I'm doing is putting a few dots on here, and I need to do it off camera really quick because I have to have it close to my old eyes here, guys, but I'll show you when I get done. So that's what I use. And some people I know like to use a hot glue gun. I try not to use a hot glue gun for projects like this, just because I know that the hot glue can come off, pop off, and things like that. And this is pretty small, and I think it's just easy to just, you know, use your quick dry adhesive or whatever kind of adhesive you want. You could also run this through your Xyron if you had a Xyron, which I do, but I typically don't. Oops, forgot to get the end here. I typically don't use my Xyron too much. I don't know why. It's up in my closet in my craft room. I have a couple of them actually, and I always forget to use them until I'm already done. I'm like, oh, I could use my Xyron for that. It's just not one of those crafty items that I use all the time. So, all right, just picking up that rickrack, and you guys can see I just have some dots of the glue on there. I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to slap it down on the edge. And this is the reason why I told you guys I wanted to really ink the edge on this one, because this isn't going to cover the flap here like the wider ribbons did. And so whenever you have this, and I like that this dries clear too, by the way, but if that bugs you, you can just use a Q-tip. Aren't these cute? I got this from the Dollar Tree. They're purple. That's my colors, you guys know if you've been following me. So anyway, so I'm just kind of pushing that down, and this sticks pretty quickly. And it does dry clear, but if you're worried about it, you can go ahead and kind of dab it up and you can't even tell that it's there. And I'll show you guys just a sec here. I just want to make sure I got it all up. Just one more quick press, and then you can see it's on there. And I like that you can see that distressed edge there. So now what I'm going to do is flip this baby over, and I'm just going to cut off the excess, because I do kind of try to go over just a little bit just so I can make sure I have, oops, sorry guys, just so I have enough. And then I'm going to close it, and I'm going to just snip off that little tiny bit. Some people might leave it. That bugs me, so I'm going to cut it off because I don't like it. It goes against my OCD-ness. That's what I guess I'm trying to say to you guys. And so that's already dry, and it's on there. Perfect. So now what I do next is I just grab my tea packet, and again I just grabbed a bunch of different varieties from my kitchen. Just slip that right in there, and we can go ahead and tie this down. So this is a super easy, quick project. I of course did not come with the I did not come up with the original idea. I'm not claiming to have done that. This has been done by a lot of people. And like I told you, I did it as a tutorial on the Scor-pal blog like 2-3 years ago. But I thought it would just be kind of a fun, quick project to use for the show I'm going to be doing. So now what we're going to do next is just take the adhesive off the back of these little paper strips. And we're going to go ahead and plop these down. This is my first one. And again, this has a script, which you can read. So I want to make sure it's right side up. Plop that down right on top of the ribbon. Then we're going to take the next one, little teapot, and you can off center this. You can do it however you want to put it on there. And I have the other ones kind of off centered, so I'm going to put it there. And then for the bling, I am just using some of these pearls that I had in my stash. That's what they look. Well, I guess you guys can't see them because it's on they're on a clear strip. So I'm just going to be using those pearls right there. And I'm just going to slip these on here. These are so pretty. And it was perfect timing because I was able to just finish up the last of this pack. So I'm just going to put those kind of on there like that. There's one. And I've just been kind of putting 3. I like to put things on in odd numbers. Sometimes I'll use even. It just depends on, whoops, just depends on the length of the project. But usually I put stuff on in 3s. And then I'm just going to do one tiny one here. And that is it, folks. So of course this took me a little bit longer because like I told you, I'm pretty rusty, but I'll get back in my game here before long. So there is the little tea pocket holder, pocket favor, whatever you want to call it. And then you just have it really super cute. And like I said, you guys can put anything you can think of in there. So those are the 3. I think that's a pretty good value of, you know, your scrapbook paper, because you can make 3 items out of one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. And then I wanted to save these to show you guys as an example. I know we can't save every little bit and piece of everything we have, but I wanted to show you these. So these are the little images I punched, and I used my Spellbinders die for this, one of them. So I have these left. So I'm going to save these and use these for another project. I can either choose to have this as a mask or whatever I want, but even if I want to cut these down, I could totally use these on a different project and use some corner punches or something like that. So that's just kind of what I do because I have the space to do it. You may not, and I understand that. But and also, I saved this so I could show you guys too. You want to clean up your ribbon edges, you can do that. Because like sometimes when it comes in a package, see how it's all wonky and curved right there? It drives me crazy. So I'm going to just snip that off and make this kind of even. You can angle your bows, whatever you want to do. And those look good. We'll do that one and this one, and we're done. So there you go guys. So I will again put the dimensions in the description box, and I will also put it across the screen when I first mentioned the paper dimensions. And then this will be the first in a series of some crafty projects for the Two Sisters Treasures shop. Or well, it's not in a shop, it's actually in their barn, which sounds weird, but if you guys are totally into the rustic chic, you know, shabby stuff like that, it makes sense. Their barn is really, really cool. It's like all really old wood, and it's really, really cool. So it's just gonna be really neat, all my decorations and stuff. So I will be filming while I'm there as well. So I will show you guys what my tables look like, how I'm displaying everything, and then also just kind of what's left, if anything's left, and maybe I'll put them like in a giveaway or something like that. I don't know, we'll see. So if you guys have any questions, or please be sure to leave them in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or give me a thumbs up if you felt sorry for me because I'm stuttering so much. And this is my first official video for a tutorial since my brain surgery. So give me a thumbs up just for that. I think that's awesome. And if you're not a subscriber, if you like my channel or like what I do, please subscribe to me. I would totally appreciate that. I do have more content if you guys look in like around September 2014 and back, because that's before I got the trigeminal neuralgia, and I was pumping out projects right and left. So I'm slowly getting back into that. So I appreciate you guys' patience. I've kept you for long enough, so I will see you guys later. Bye.